Welcome one and all to the K.O.E. Nation for a very special spirits review of the Macallan 12-year Sherry Cask edition, folks. This is a very interesting Scotch whiskey, a very interesting Highland indeed, and we are going to turn it over to some very, very good friends of the K.O.E. Nation, honored thanes of the K.O.E. Nation, in fact. One and only Tony G and the one and only Chicken. You can find Tony G over at Tony the Rod 2.0 on TikTok. Yes, Tony the Rod 2.0 on TikTok and the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. Yes, come on, folks. You know this is the right thing to do. You can find Chicken over at Big Buckin' Empire on Facebook and YouTube. Definitely check us out on Big Buckin' Empire. It's the right place to be. But without further ado, let's get right into this Scotch whiskey review.
Welcome, everybody. We have a treat for you today. As you read in the title, we've held on to this bottle for
far too long.
I've been wanting to crack this bad boy open since the day I got it. But Tony's like, no, Chicken, don't do it. We need to do it together.
Look, I've been eyeballing this thing for probably at least a couple of years now. But I am Tony fucking G. This is Chicken fucking Chicken. And this is the Macallan 12-year Sherry Oak Cask review.
Oh, yeah. Introductions. Yeah, totally skipped over that. That's how excited I am for this.
I know you're eager. I've been sitting on this since December. I think that's about the same time you got yours. I've been excited for this. I love the Macallan. And you're probably noticing that this is not a Phil K.O.E. hosted review. Well, to be frank, the King of Extreme is not an extreme fan of the Macallan brand. Now, I think this might be one that could, possibly change his mind about that.
Maybe.
But
ready to.
Without further ado, yes, let's do it.
1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, mine was beautiful.
Mine sucked because I didn't cut the little... idiot.
I just manhandled mine. It opened.
Well, I guess I'm a pussy.
Well... you said it. I mean,
no, this happened last. One of them opened that my 12-year opened like really, really easy, just a regular 12 double oak. But the 15, for some reason, that one opened like a bastard, and then the cork was terrible. I don't know why. Here it goes. Ooh, oh, it's tight.
Yeah, it is.
Holy shit!
She is a tight one.
Oh my god. Maybe it's still stuck. This is unprecedented.
And we got some Jeopardy music here.
God, dude. I'm kidding you. Oh, there.
Nice. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful cork pop.
There's still like a second sticker. Okay, that like that.
All
right, I'm an idiot.
Beautiful liquid.
Oh my god, it's already beautiful.
I know it is. Oh, what am I getting there? Definitely fruity.
Oh god, yes. Oh god. Yeah, I'm already a little in love. Not gonna lie.
This is gonna be fantastic.
So yeah, my first introduction to Macallan, as I mentioned, was the Macallan 12-year double cask, and I picked that up. It's been at least 2-3 years now, and I was blown away by this stuff. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. Feels like it's a little bit minty for my taste, but still a really nice one. And the Macallan brand is one of the spendier scotches on the market. The more intricate the casking gets, the higher the age statement gets. They do have a lot of variety, and some of their offshoots are not very popular. But this one, I've never seen anybody say anything bad about it. But now this has a chance to breathe.
It's all just dried fruit, like flavors.
I didn't even need to put it to my nose. Like, it was just emitting from the glass.
Like the little packages of like dried, apricots and dried apples, like
raisins.
Yeah. It's like, I can't put it down to just like one or two. It's just like dried mixed fruit smell.
I don't think. Yeah, I think in a blind nose, nosing, you would
This is
definitely.
amazing. You could
I
call
think you would
this out.
first say. I think you would first say Scotch, but I think the reason you would say Scotch is because I don't think there's any mistake that this is a sherry cask.
No.
This reminds me kind of the strong sherry nose of like the Naked Grouse, which is a very affordable sherry cask, but very heavy sherry. So this is marvelous. But I'm trying to get through.
There's like a weird spice in there. I can't put my nose on.
Yeah, there is a very muted.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's a cinnamon or a.
No, it's not that potent.
Yeah.
Cinnamon like really comes after you. This doesn't come after you.
Light. I almost got a little bit of a licorice too.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay. I'm ready if you are.
Let's do it. Oh yeah, here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Pretty light on the front. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
The middle really sets in. Oh yeah, the dried fruit comes through really tight. The back end.
It's so gentle.
Oh.
And then here it comes. Yeah, it's just
wow.
That fruit never goes away though. And the fruit changes. It's
oh my god.
Not quite chocolatey. Not like chocolate.
I was about to say like a.
It's like a
dark chocolate.
Like almond bark. Like.
Oh, okay, almond bark. Yeah, like cooking chocolate. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Like the first taste, I'm like, that's really pleasant, but it's really, really soft. And then it just grew.
There's like just a little hint of like baking spice. Just like just after the finish is over, you're just like, oh, hey, it's still there.
I think like the fruit is like an apricot or
yeah, it's like a tangy, sugary, dried fruit. Oh, yeah.
Go back in for another.
This is delightful.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't mint. I don't get any mintiness with this. The sherry cask really kills the overpowering mint.
Yeah,
because I assume it's the same juice as the double oak, the double oak cask, and this is just instead of being finished in 2 oaks, finished. Well, let's find out.
Yeah, let's do some reading here.
On the back, the Macallan Sherry Oak 12-year-old reveals the unrivaled commitment to the mastery of wood and spirit for which the Macallan has been known since it was established in 1824. When matured exclusively in Oloroso sherry seasoned oak casks from Jerez, Spain, our rich, fruity, and full-bodied new make spirit is transformed into a classic single malt. The sherry seasoned oak cask delivers a rich and complex single malt characterized by spice and dried fruit flavors. Boom! Wow. It doesn't specifically say which spice, but I think you're right. It's like a simple baking spice. Nothing that specifically just jumps out, which I like because sometimes spice can be a little overwhelming if there's too much of it present. I think it's got just the right amount here.
It's got it on the box.
Ah, fantastic. I do not have the box handy.
So, whiskey maker's notes. So the color, of course, a rich gold. Aroma, complex with hints of vanilla. I didn't now I have
vanilla.
to go check. You know when you hear it?
Okay, so I can see that like on the very, very, very front.
Yeah.
Like that first initial
Oh, no, this
taste.
is on the aroma. I didn't taste it at all.
Oh, on the aroma? I don't know. I don't really smell it on the aroma.
Yeah, I don't taste
it
at all.
Now. If anything, on the very front, like that first initial taste, and then everything else just kind of washes over.
Yeah. Aroma, so complex with hints of vanilla, dried fruits, and ginger. That's
ginger. There you go. That's the spice.
Palate is smooth, medium balanced with fruit, oak, and spice. I thought the oak was pretty subtle.
Honestly, it is. I think it is, but I think that comes through more in the strength of the finish. The oak does.
Yeah, and that's what it says
like
here.
You get that with like a bourbon, you get that strong, overwhelming finish, but I think that's where you're getting. It's just the strength, it's not necessarily the flavor.
And that's pretty much what it says on here. Is the finish is long with sweet dried fruits, oak, and spice.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry, honestly. Like this is a.
They deliver on what they say here. The vanilla is the only thing we might have disputed a little bit.
Yeah, and that's just on the nose. I mean, yeah, I guess you hear it, you can smell it, but I mean, it's sweet, and you associate vanilla with being sweet. So,
the Macallan Sherry Oak 12-year-old reveals the unrivaled commitment to the mastery of wood and spirit for which Macallan has been known since it was established in 1824. It is an expression of our enduring desire to go beyond ordinary, to seek out the extraordinary, and create peerless single malts. Our reputation for the extraordinary. They said extraordinary like 3 times now.
Well, it is.
It is. Well, okay. Is characterized by the exceptional oak cask for which the Macallan is renowned, sourced, crafted, toasted, and seasoned under the watchful eye of the Macallan Master of Wood. God, that's a cool job title.
Oh, yeah. Give me that. Oh, I would love to have that title.
The hand-picked casks are delivered to the demanding specifications of the Macallan Master Distiller. Once filled, maturing spirit remains undisturbed in the same cask for full 12 years. It is the oak that makes the greatest contribution to the quality, natural color, and distinctive aromas and flavors at the heart of this single malt whiskey.
And this one is beautiful. I love
this. Is really
the
good.
Macallan just overall presents. This is one of my favorite presentations of Scotch.
Mm-hmm.
The bottle is beautiful. It's got a bit of a unique shape.
Whether it's in the box or the bottle, they stand out on any shelf.
It's such a simplistic logo, but it looks so.
And when you get them next to each other and you start getting a little bit of a collection, they do look very impressive.
I've got like 4 in the back, and they stand above everything else. And I'm like, I kind of want to put them in the front because they look so nice together. But yeah, this is one of my favorite presentations of Scotch. I love the way it looks. But I mean, the color of this one, fantastic. Everything about this, I'm a big fan of this one. And honestly, make fun of the shape of the bottle all you want, some people. But I told this story a couple of times already. But that first bottle of Macallan 12-year double oak I had. I made the mistake of stepping out the door, and I was holding the box like a suitcase. The lid plopped open. The bottle went out, top first, went down my concrete steps. Didn't crack. Just scuffed a little bit here, a little on the label. Never broke. God. Unbelievable.
That's just like... Ugh, that just made me sick to my stomach.
I was having a shit fit. My wife's like, "Stop yelling at the kid." I'm like, "I can't help it. My bottle is gone."
Mommy.
I did. I watched it slinky down concrete steps. I thought it was a goner, but no, it's a very high quality bottle. So you do get what you pay for, at least with the presentation, because they're not screwing around. The only complaints I have with the presentation, I don't love the box of Macallan. I think, like I said, the lid is a little flimsy.
It is pretty. Yeah.
And yeah, the cork itself, while it is a nice, real cork, and it does seal quite well, if you look, and that's the reason I said I've had this experience both ways, if you actually look at the cork design, it's a little flimsy the way it connects. And
when you look deep, right up next to it.
And I think that's why I had trouble opening it, because it's not a standard. It does hug.
It looks like they do a double seal cork on here on the original, so.
Yeah, it does seal around the glass, so you get you do get an airtight fit. So
that's good, though.
It is good, but it does make for kind of an inconvenience. Because I had one break for no good reason when I opened it. That was the one that opened really
Folks, always save your corks. You never know when you're going to need one.
Fact. So, for those of you new to the show, we do grade our whiskeys on several different scales. We will be grading this as a single malt, as a scotch, as a whiskey, and as a cask-aged spirit. And then, again, if you're new to the show, perhaps a secret question. And also shelving.
A secret fifth question?
A secret fifth question. And yes, shelving, of course. Sorry, that was not nearly as eloquent as the titled Lord of the Scottish Highlands, which this proudly promotes Highland single malt Scotch whiskey.
You were so close there, T. You were so close. You were so close. But it is I, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, and one damn handsome man, if I do say so myself. And we grade these particular whiskeys, these scotches, any kind of whiskey on a 5-star scale. 5 meaning you have to have it before you shuffle off this mortal coil. 0 meaning pass it on by. The KOE Nation has advised you well. That's how it's done, T.
But the time for grading has come. So, where would you like to begin?
What was the first one you had? Well, let's just go with Scotch, because that's
Okay.
what we're doing. Ooh. Now, when I'm thinking like some of my favorites on here, I do like a little peat sometimes, but like, yeah, if I do like peat, it's very little. This I wouldn't want peat with at all, just because like it's so fruit forward. This alone stands against some big hitters. I don't think it's quite as good as like a Dalmore 12.
Okay.
On the nose, it doesn't quite hit. Even on the and just overall, it just comes a little bit short of the Dalmore 12. I kind of like that rich
Dalmore 12
chocolate.
Sherry Cask.
Either of them.
Okay.
Honestly, both of them. But yeah, the Sherry Cask too.
I do specifically want to do a head-to-head with this and the Dalmore 12 Sherry Cask.
Yeah, I'm curious if I did it blind. I wonder. I'm pretty sure I could call out which one's which, but I wonder which one I would actually like more. But just going off of memory, I think I prefer that a little bit more. I can't remember what I graded that one. I think it was like a 3.75 or a 4.
We were quite generous with that one, and to
were.
be fair, it was insanely complex. We thought,
but this is really good. And this is right behind it, in my opinion. I'm gonna go 3.75 as a Scotch.
Yeah, get out of my head. I was thinking the same thing. I couldn't quite go 4 as a Scotch because I hate to use this as a cop-out, but some people, like you said, prefer a little bit of peat. This doesn't have it. Some people prefer a different type of cask finishing. If you don't like sherry casking, I'm surprised you like a lot of Scotch, honestly, but sherry cask is such a good way to finish a Scotch. Not a lot of people out there hate it, but some do, and this would not appeal to them. So I think 3.75 is fair. And again, this is a very, very well-respected brand, even though some people think it's just overpriced. But those people can think what they want. This is a fantastic, fantastic Scotch. Really, really like it. So let us move on. I agree, 3.75. Let's move on to single malt.
Ooh, what do you got on it? I got to think about this.
I could go either way with it. I could make an argument either way with this, but I'm just going to go with my gut. And as a single malt, I personally enjoy the hell out of this. I'm going to go with 4. I really think the sherry casking in this regard, the 12-year age statement, and just the way that this one grows and expands. And I have a feeling this one, if you let it breathe for even longer than we've been sitting here,
right,
this one would get even more and more and more complex. Because this one, I think there's a lot here, but I think you've really got to go in for several tastes and several different experiences to really, really get the full bodied taste of this one. So I think 4 is fair, but yeah, this one's definitely up there for me.
I'm gonna stick with 3.75 because, like you said, we've just scratched the surface on this bottle with our first tasting of it. It could go up later, folks. This would be one to keep watching Big Buck and Empire and come watch us live, because one of these nights we're gonna pull this bad boy out and we're gonna go, that's a 4, or that's a 4.5. Yeah, well, I don't know how honest we'll be in that moment, but yeah, I'm gonna go 3.75. I think that's still fair. But yeah, like you said, like we just scratched the surface on this thing.
So let us move on to whiskey. As a whiskey, where would you rate this? This is going up against bourbons and Irish and Canadians and the entire world of whiskey.
I'm pretty bourbon heavy. When you think of whiskey, I either want to drink it straight on the rocks or have a very specific mixer when it comes to kind of grading those. Now this I think would be fantastic, neat, just the way it is. I don't know if I would put this on the rocks at all. Like some people do prefer all Scotch on the rocks. I think this stands alone the way it is. But then I compare it to some bourbons. It seems kind of weak. Alcohol content wise, it's a good experience. It's great flavors.
It is 43 ABV.
So this is an acquired taste for acquired drinkers. So the bourbonites out there that just love to burn your esophagus with the 65% alcohol. Like,
Yeah.
you probably are going to think this is a little weak. I've been pretty high proof heavy this last few weeks. So,
Yeah. Been
so
there.
it kind of gives me a 3.5. It's a very good, stands on its own, but there's not much else I would do with it.
Yeah, I think 3.5 is fair as a whiskey because you could cocktail with it. There's better sherry cask scotch options to cocktail with that aren't going to dilute what this probably has deeper inside of it. So I wouldn't recommend it. You could do it. And again, it's 43 ABV. I don't think you need to dilute this with any water or ice.
No.
So this is probably good and neat.
But yeah,
3.5. Yeah, 43. So yeah, I think this is a great. It's a great whiskey. It's definitely in my wheelhouse, but it's definitely not for everybody. I think we definitely added one more rating than we needed, but we are going to finish up this portion with cask aging, and I'll just say, as a cask age, I'm going to go back to 4 because I think the beauty of this one is all in the casking. Again, there are options from Macallan, and the Sherry Oak casking of this one. They nailed it with this one. Like, this is a great representation of sherry casking. And in terms of drinkability, and this could apply to the whiskey concept too, if you want to debate the scale, this is insanely drinkable. This is very, very easy to sip on, easy to drink, and probably easy to drink too much of, to be completely frank.
That's true.
But the way that this one expands, it's all because of the casking. The way that this one grows on your palate, all in the casking. So this is a great representation of cask aging.
Yeah, so I completely agree with the 4 on there because that's exactly what makes this as good as it is and to stand where it does. I mean, 3.5 and 3.75 ratings aren't nothing to joke about. Like those are legit rankings compared to everything we're putting up against. And yeah, I agree. The cask age 4 for sure. If it wasn't for the tender care and extraordinary the extraordinary characterization of exceptional oak casks. If it wasn't for that, this would not be such great juice. So
there you go.
I 100% agree.
Now, shelving. Will this go on your bottom, your middle, or your top shelf?
So I'm gonna pretend I have nothing but scotch on my 3 shelves. With what I own today, it's definitely not bottom. It could have an argument for top, but it would likely, it'd be 1 I would consider for top, but it would probably be middle.
Fair.
And it also depends on what other Macallans I have to put it next to for presentation.
There you go.
So
now I will say, my top shelf is Scotch, so it's going to go on my top shelf. But I do have it Scotch, Irish, bourbon, and rye, so that's not exactly fair.
Yeah.
If I was just basing it on those 3, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting it on my middle shelf because I really think this is really in my wheelhouse. But right now, my top shelf Scotch is. I'm a little shy on heavy hitters, so comparatively speaking, this is probably up there with my best of my Scotch right now. I'm kind of overloaded on bourbon, so this is a good representation of a fantastic Scotch. So yeah, top shelf regardless.
Okay.
Last but not least, the secret question. After this bottle runs dry for either of us, would you seek out another?
I think so. I'm trying to remember how much this cost. It didn't break the bank for a good bottle of scotch.
I don't know what this one was given to me, so I don't know the exact price. But I want to say
like 60 or 70 for it.
Then you got it for a really good deal because I think standard price is probably around $80 for this one.
Okay.
Generally speaking, I think you're going to find this one for $80. If you find it for more, maybe hold out for a sale in your local area. And I know prices vary depending on where you're located, but if you can find this one for $65 to $80. Yeah, I'd probably jump on it if I didn't have one of these.
It could be kind of steep for some people, but this is one that, you'll sip on this for a while. You'll enjoy.
I've paid more for less. I'll be honest, and this is in my wheelhouse. So this is probably one I would routinely try to have on my shelf.
I would definitely. There's several times where you have a guest comes over unexpectedly, is having a bad day, needs
This is one I'd like to show
good
off.
smooth drink that's like, yeah. This is right up there with those types of experiences. So yeah, I'd definitely buy another one.
Yeah, letting this breathe, it really does expand. But yes, it is definitely heavy on the sherry, and in a good way.
Yes,
That sherry really does just breathe and expands, and cannot recommend this one enough. If you see it somewhere and it's in your price range, definitely pick this up. Or if you're at a nice whiskey bar and you see this one sitting on the shelf, inquire about how much a shot would be, and at least give this one a try, because I really like this.
Just might fall in love, folks.
You just might. You might come around to a different way of thinking about the Macallan if you were a detractor before. But all that being said, thank you for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, folks. You know it's the right thing to do all across the platforms of the Big Buckin' Empire, folks. The K.O.E. Nation will always be here for you when it comes to reviewing the whiskey and guiding you down the path to a better taste. And I promise you, the King of Extreme will definitely be trying this in the future, and he will give you his thoughts as well. So, we will catch you next time. Cheers, folks.
As always, appreciate you. Love you. Bye.
And thank you, one and all, for being here for this extra special review of the Macallan 12-year Sherry Cask Edition. And Tony, I think I'm just going to have to take you up on that offer of having us a little versus series one of these days. So, folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us here at the K.O.E. Nation. Be sure to like, share, subscribe right here to K.O.E. Nation on YouTube. Head on over to Twitch and follow me on K.O.E. Nation on Twitch. Also, follow me, K.O.E. Nation, on TikTok. Yes, this is all very on brand, folks. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. I hope all of you make it back here happy, healthy, much the wiser. God bless. Travel well.
Here and see if it just smooths itself out.
Get back, tell you what I'll do. If I ever get back, I promise to refabricate you, raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised. And now we're lost, we gotta take it down. Let you down slow, it's hard to survive.
Nice.
El Dorado. Oh, Lord. Well, let's see how that one went.
Yeah.